Boy, have things changed in the cooking, baking industry. Not only in the industry, but for home too. Back when I was experimenting and researching to go gluten-free to improve my own health, this is one of the first books that I grabbed. Now, today there's so much on the internet, and I'm guilty. I'm one of them. To make it a lot more easy in trying to figure out these books, I just feel like a dummy. But these are some of the fun things that I've been digging out, and I was feeling a little bit on the reminiscent side today when I needed to look at cooking more sugar-free and how to do that. And this is one that was gifted to me from my mom. Here's some recipes: chocolate sundae pudding, double chocolate nuggets, peanut butter cookies. These were my dad's favorite peanut butter cookies. And then the chocolate cake recipe, which there's only half of it left, that I won first prize on at the county fair years ago. So here's my very first cookbook that I cut my teeth on, 1973. Good heavens, that's dating me here. And when I was self-sufficient as a young adult, I got this book called Stocking Up. It's by Rodale Press, and it actually looks pretty good, but I use this over and over and over. I come from a long line of preservers, bakers, cookers, you name it. We all made our own food, and this one was a great one. Now, I don't know if it's still in publication, but it's got to be out there somewhere on the net. When I began catering, I really needed to ramp up and learn how to feed more people. So this was a book that was gifted, Food for 50. And the date in it is actually 1978. Ugh. Dating me big time. This is a series that I really love from Jean Perry. She was a caterer, and she matched her shirts to all of her book covers, and I have a special connection with that, having a husband that was in the screen printing industry. Now, some of the things have changed as far as ingredients are concerned, but some of them haven't. Things like maple syrup that I use for sweetening most of the time. You don't need to use as much maple syrup as you do the regular sugars, and this is a dark maple syrup, not the Canada grade AAAAA plus, but I also know where that came from. That came from Dear Friends. The clearer the syrup, the fancier it is, and I like to use the dark syrup for the flavor. Now, one of the things that's changed a lot is this is an aluminum-free baking powder, and baking powder is needed to make things rise when you're baking. Cocoa powder, well, that chocolate cake recipe that I showed you that is battered and torn in half, well, I won first prize on that chocolate cake, and at that time there were things like we were using were like lards as shortenings, and cocoa powder has changed, as in now we can get fair trade organic cocoa powder. So what was in the other stuff? I don't even want to know. Vanilla. Vanilla is a staple in baking, and this is a Mexican vanilla derived directly from the vanilla bean. So some nice wholesome ingredients. Sea salt, well, sea salt is sea salt, and this is a non-iodized sea salt that I've been using in my recipes for a good long time. I would have never thought that apple cider vinegar, which is an older ingredient actually, this is an unfiltered and unpasteurized apple cider vinegar, that I could use that in my baking instead of eggs. Now, I do use eggs in some, but this recipe happens to be vegan. Olive oil. Now, olive oils, instead of shortenings or other fats, doesn't taste like olives, but it is a great alternative for the healthy fats. Here's something that has only recently been out in the years, and this is coconut beverage. It's made from real coconuts, and this one is carrageenan free. So Carrageenan is a thickener and has been controversial. So whether it's for Valentine's Day cupcakes like I'm making here, or birthday parties, if you have any limitations in your diet, well, you still can have the sweet treats, whether you're going gentle on the sweets, or you are going nut-free, or you are going gluten-free. If you're just starting out baking, there are lots of resources out there for you today to help you manage the transition. If you have been baking forever, the transition may be a little bit more difficult for you, but it's possible. So I'm just filling up these cupcake papers and going to enjoy a treat with the kidlets and for anybody else that happens to come by. So be creative.